Aloha, it's Robert with Blue Planet. Today's video is going to be all about the Big Paradise, the new model we have for 2020. It's 10 feet by 35 by 199 liters. We pack a lot of board and stability into a fairly short and small package. And I'm going to go into the design philosophy behind the board, the shape, the construction, the features, the colors available, and so on. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little story, and I think just bear with me, and I think you'll understand why I'm telling this in relation to this board design. We often get people come into the store asking for a certain size board that fits in their elevator, or it fits in their car, in their van, and it has like a certain size restriction. So imagine I live on an island where I never wore shoes. I always go barefoot. I don't know nothing about shoes and what kind of shoes to get. But now I'm going on a trip and I'm packing my bag, and I only have a little tiny space left in my carry-on for a pair of shoes to take with me on a trip. So I go to a shoe store and I tell the salesperson I need some shoes and they need to fit in my bag, and I only have this much space for my shoes. So I'm not telling them that the shoes are for me or what I'm going to do with them or anything. So the salesperson just says, well, we have these little baby shoes right over here. They'll fit in that space just fine. They're nice and small and inexpensive and so on. Should work perfectly for you. And I look at them and they're like, oh yeah, these are nice, nice colors, and it looks like they'll fit in my bag just fine. So and the price is good, so I'll buy them. And then I go home, I'm very happy, they look very nice, they fit in my bag perfectly, and so on. But then when I'm on my trip and it's time to put on my shoes and wear them, I realize that they're totally useless for me because they don't fit my feet. They don't work for me at all. So this is just an analogy, obviously, but I think you get the idea. Basically, when you buy shoes, a good salesperson would say, well, let's make sure these shoes fit your feet first, because that's the first priority, is that you can use the shoes, that they fit your feet and you can use them. And we'll look for a pair that kind of packs up small, maybe the soles are thin, or you can roll it up some or something like that to be able to make it fit into your bag. But your first priority has to be that the shoes fit your feet. The second priority is that they fit in the space you have available for them. So that's how you should buy a board. Don't buy a board just depending on the size that you need to fit into, but get a board that fits your needs and that you can use. So in our shop, we want people to try the board first. We highly encourage you to try before you buy. We have a rental program where you can try out boards up to $250, and rental fees will credit towards a purchase. So that gives you the opportunity to try lots of different boards. We also have clinics and so on. So ideally, just like with shoes, you want to try the board before you buy the board. Okay, so but with that in mind, if you weigh over 200 pounds, or you're heavy or tall, you definitely need more volume and a bigger, wider board than someone who's lightweight, maybe very thin or light or petite, short. Someone like that can get away with a smaller, lower volume board that's narrower and more tippy. But let's say you're a heavier person, you need a lot of stability, you need some volume. Your balance isn't the best, and you might want to go out in choppy water or rough conditions, then getting a wider, thicker board makes a lot of sense. One option, if you have very limited space, is an inflatable board, and I have another whole long video on inflatable versus hard boards. And at our shop, we're in the tropics in Hawaii. We highly recommend getting a hard board for longevity and also for performance. In Hawaii, if you're going to go in the ocean where sometimes it gets rough, or you want to be able to catch waves with it, and also in the heat, hard board will last longer and perform better than an inflatable board. With all this in mind, I designed the Big Paradise to be a board that's fairly compact. 10 feet long is relatively short for a stand-up paddleboard, but still 35 inches wide, gives you a lot of stability. It has full volume rails, so there's a lot of stability in this board. But at the same time, we don't want to make a board that's just a dog and doesn't work well, so we really spent some time designing it well, making it a really nice performing board. It glides well, it tracks well, reasonably well. and it just feels really nice. It's a great board. Everyone that's jumped on it really enjoys riding it, and it also surfs well. As you go shorter, the board becomes more maneuverable, but that also means it's going to kind of push through the water a little bit more. It's not going to glide as well as a longer board. And also, the wider the board is, the more drag it's going to have, because the more width you have in the board, the more drag it creates through the water, obviously. So that said, I think we designed a board that works really well, even though it's only 10 feet long. It has great performance. And it's a really fun board to cruise on by yourself or with a pet or with another person on it. It has a lot of volume, almost 200 liters. The width is another really important aspect of the dimensions. The wider the board is, the more stable it's going to be side to side. So the 35-inch width gives you a lot of stability, makes it really easy to balance out this board. And that's a great feature to have when you're starting out. You want something that's stable, and the fairly thick rails also give you more stability because they don't sink as easily as really thinned out rails like we have on some of our surfing-oriented models. So the dimensions are 10 feet long by 35 inches wide by 199 liters volume. The bottom shape has a nicely shaped rocker. It's kind of a continuous curve with a little bit of nose kick that surfs well, actually. This board, even though it's big and wide and floaty, it still surfs well. The rounded pintail, if you get your foot on the back over the fins, you can really swing that board around and make a turn. So just because it's a big board and has a lot of volume doesn't mean you can't surf it. There's a slight concave in the nose that goes into kind of a flat middle that feels very neutral and is easy to maneuver, and then a slight V in the tail. And then the rails are refined to go from fairly high volume rails in the middle where you're standing to a little bit thinned out tail that's really nice for surfing and cruising and going in rough, choppy water. It helps to have that thinned out nose and tail. So let's talk a little bit about the construction of the board. This is made in the Blue Planet bamboo hybrid construction, which combines epoxy fiberglass with carbon fiber and Kevlar. Some of the features are 2 leash plugs, which is stronger in big waves, for example. We have a nice grippy deck pad with micro grip dots on them, has a tail kick, a little arch bar. We have our patented SUP grip handle, which makes it easy to carry the board. You can wrap your fingers all the way around it for a nice secure grip. All our boards have a carbon fiber deck patch. It covers the standing area where you stand or kneel. It's a common area that gets damaged on boards, so it's highly reinforced on our boards. The rails, the nose and the tail of the board are all wrapped with a Kevlar band. So by using this material, which is also used in bulletproof vests, we make this area very strong and resilient. So on the bottom of the board, we have 5 fin boxes. There's a center US box and 2 side fin boxes, and that's a great feature to have. All the inserts in the board have high density foam reinforced boxes around them, so that makes them much stronger than inserts that are installed just into this EPS foam, which is not as strong. Over the years, we found many ways that we can improve the strength of the board and longevity without adding a lot of weight. Basically, we put the strength where it's needed, and try to keep it as light as possible in the areas where we don't need it to be as strong. The Big Paradise is available in the bamboo construction. It comes in 3 colors: the Rasta color, the blue color, and the teal color. We just have limited stock of these 2020 boards right now. If you're interested, get one before they're all gone. We do have another shipment coming in soon. I believe by the end of February we'll have more stock. If you're one of those people that needs a board that you can fit in the back of your van or take it in the elevator, put it behind your couch or whatnot, this is a great board to use. Not because it fits everywhere, but because it's a great board. It's fun, it's compact, it's easy to use, it's easy to paddle, it's a fun shape, it's good for all kinds of uses, it's very versatile, and it fits in your car, and it fits in the elevator, and it fits behind your couch. So there you go. Check out the Big Paradise at Blue Planet. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel down below. Thanks for watching. See you on the water. Aloha.